Welcome to the Growth Arena podcast, where we'll dive deeper together in the arena of personal growth, mindset, and finding happiness in the everyday grind. I'm your host, Dr. Kaan Celebi, entrepreneur, physical therapist, father, husband, and of course, relentless explorer of what it takes to thrive in life. Episode 42, Better Not Done. Building your Rome brick by brick. Welcome back to the Growth Arena. We are in season 5. Last week, we talked about strategy versus tactics. How most people are not lost, they're just busy. They're exhausted, not because they lack effort, but because they're executing really without any direction or staying busy in their own lives and just letting time go by. And really, that's the danger of operating without strategy. You can do everything right tactically and still end up in the wrong place. That idea, direction before motion, sets the stage for today's conversation. Because honestly, once we have a direction, we've decided, once we've committed, the next step is taking that step. So how do you begin? How do you stay committed long enough to build something meaningful? And I'm going to get into all that. Just a little reminder, this season, different format we're following. Each of these episodes, it opens up with a short excerpt from Seth Godin's book, This is Strategy. It's not a traditional book. It's built as a collection of short reflections. I love it because you can read one of these reflections each and every day, and it challenges you to think outside the box. And I wanted to bring it here to this podcast because it really aligns with my message, what I'm putting out, as well as open you up to Seth Godin's work. So each one of these excerpts, it's meant to be absorbed, lived with, and eventually applied, right? That's the whole focus. I mean, any of these books that you read, in a sense, yes, it's great for learning, great for education, but if you don't apply it, do you truly learn it? Do you truly absorb it? We never really use it. So what we're doing here is taking one of those excerpts each week, not just discuss it, but to use it as a lens for growth, mindset, and becoming who we're meant to be. That's the whole goal of this podcast. All of us together moving forward. So let's get into this week's passage. This is called Rome Was Built in a Day. And even the title got me because everybody knows and everybody says the same saying, and it's been around God knows how long. Rome wasn't built in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's what you hear. But I love this take because it flips it. Rome was actually built in a day. It wasn't finished in a day. Still technically isn't finished. It's always evolving, but that's really what caught me right off the bat with this excerpt. But let me get into it. Rome was built in a day. Of course, it wasn't finished in a day. It still isn't. But soon as the brothers announced that this is Rome, there it was. Built, but incomplete. After that, the work became the tireless, recursive, and repeated effort to improve the system and to grow the community that is Rome. They started in the right century, in the right place, with the right philosophy. And then each day, Rome got better. Better, not done. I love that line, better, not done. And I think this passage, it really brings us right back to season 1 and the 5 C's we've talked about before. And if you remember, clarity, commitment, courage, consistency, and celebration. And this passage specifically starts at the beginning of those two, clarity and commitment. The moment they say this is Rome, it wasn't perfect, it wasn't finished, technically it wasn't really started yet, but the decision was made. The clarity was there. This was going to be the city of Rome. It was defined. That's clarity. Clarity doesn't mean you have it all figured out. It means you've named your direction. Instead of aimlessly wandering, you've declared your intention. Even if it's rough, even if it's incomplete, even if the full idea is not there. We wait too long for clarity to arrive like it's something we have to find. But clarity is something we choose. We make that decision. We decide. It begins when you have the courage to say, this is what I'm building. this is the direction I'm going. And any part of life, whether it's health, whether it's fitness, whether it's career, whether it's fatherhood, whether it's getting married, it's your decision. You need clarity. You decide, and there it is. You can't improve what you haven't defined. So clarity isn't about perfection. It's about planting your flag and saying, this is where we begin. Standing on your hill and saying, this is how my story starts. And after that declaration comes the work. That's where commitment enters. We talk about the promise to ourselves, the signed contract. Another line that really hits me in the passage is, each day Rome got better. Wasn't perfect from the start. It's still not perfect, but each day it gets better. Not bigger, not flashier, just better. That's what commitment really looks like. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency over time. It's about showing up again and again, even when the results feel slow. And this is the piece that makes the difference. It's what separates people who start from people who finish. Commitment is staying loyal to what you said you'd do long after the emotion you said it in is gone. You know, when I talk about the 5 C's in my own life, and I think about all the projects I started, I think about throughout my life. Obviously, I've had many, many failures, and the ones that I felt that I really succeeded upon are the ones that I actually took the time to get really, really clear on what I wanted, what that vision would look like, and then deciding that, and then making the promise to myself that this is going to happen. I do feel like I have a strong will, but only when my heart's in it. And I think that probably goes for everybody. If you really want something in life, if you really want it for change or for growth or just for a better path, there has to be a very, very clear vision. And then you have to really dig deep and understand the why. Because if there isn't a strong why behind the choices that you're about to make, you will never follow through on that. So when there is a strong why, then it's very easy to make a commitment to move forward. It's very easy to keep that commitment, even when times get tough, even when the emotions settle down and the work gets boring and dry and hard, and when you don't see results right away. When you have that deep, deep, deep meaning of what you're looking to do, you have the why of it all, and that actually means something to you, like deep down in your heart and your soul, that actually means something to you, you're going to push through it. Anything that's superficial on the surface, anything that doesn't have a strong, strong meaning behind it, it doesn't last. It for sure doesn't last. Building a business is one of the main examples I give. And when you start something like this, whether it's, your first post, your first offer, or your first product that you put out there, it's not perfect. It probably changes over time, and it probably can be incomplete. You're going to refine it. You're going to adjust it. You're going to evolve it, especially month after month, year after year. Your business most likely does not look the same. I hate to say it. It shouldn't look the same, because if there's no evolution, that business starts to die. That's the most important part of all of this. People understand when they make a decision to do something, or if they, again, start a business or take on a project, we all expect immediate results. We live in a world where patience does not exist anymore, including myself, right? Like, I start something, I want a result right away. I want to see something right away. And if you want to build something great, you have to understand that a flash in the pan that's successful, that overnight success, that doesn't happen. You look at other businesses and you start comparing, and you say, well, look at them. Look how fast they grew. They didn't grow that fast. All that work that they put in behind there, nobody understands that. For each of those businesses that you feel like are an overnight success, I guarantee there was a ton of work that went into it that you've never saw. All the behind the scene, blood, sweat, and tears that were grinded into each and every one of any successful venture. This is stuff you don't see, but this is what it's built on. These are the shoulders it's built on. Clarity, commitment. The trap most people fall into is waiting for perfect conditions to start. Perfect never comes. And that's the point. And really, that's the point that Seth Godin is making here. Rome didn't wait until it was finished to be Rome. It became Rome because someone had the courage to begin. Your version of Rome might be your health, your business, your confidence, or your mindset, whatever it is. The goal isn't to just finish. It's to keep improving, to keep evolving, to be better, not done. So let me ask you this. What is your Rome? Are you clear on that yet? Have you thought about that yet? Have you really taken the time to dig deep on the hill that you want to stand on? That's the first piece. Then deciding and making that promise to yourself that you're going to follow through. Because this journey of becoming isn't about rushing to completion. It's about commitment to the process. Clarity gives you your direction. Commitment keeps you moving. And always remember, we're looking for better, not done. Thanks for tuning in. See you right here next time on The Growth Arena.
Thank you for stepping into the growth arena today. I hope you found value in this episode and feel inspired to keep leveling up in your mindset, personal growth, and road to happiness. Remember, growth is a journey and not a destination. The most important step is the one you take today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who's ready to step into their own growth arena. And for more information and insights, connect with me on Instagram, Kaan_Celebi, or visit us on YouTube at _growth arena. Until next time, keep growing, keep pushing, and I'll see you back here on the next episode.